In 1971, the most powerful man in black music heard a song and called it, quote, "the worst thing I've ever heard in my life." He refused to release it. The artist went on strike, so 2 executives pressed 100,000 copies of Behind the Boss's Back. That song sold out in 1 week, and it changed R&B forever. This is the story of 12 songs from the 70s and 80s that broke every rule the industry had written and made everyone who doubted them look absolutely foolish. Let's start with the song that almost never existed. Number 12, What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, 1971. Mother, there's Motown had one rule that nobody broke: keep politics out of the music. Picket lights, picket signs. Berry Gordy built an empire on love songs, not protest anthems. So when Marvin Gaye walked into his office with a song about Vietnam, police brutality, and inner city suffering, Gordy didn't just say no, he said it was ridiculous, taking things too far. Everybody thinks we're wrong. The head of Motown's quality control department agreed. They were used to the baby stuff, and this was something they couldn't grasp. Hey, what's going on? Wanna know what's going on? Gordy feared nobody would buy a song with jazz influences. He'd already failed once trying to sell jazz records, but Marvin wouldn't back down. He went on strike, told Motown he'd never record another note until they released the song. Now picture this standoff. Motown's best-selling male artist refusing to work, label desperate for new product, and a song sitting in the vault that the boss called worthless. Oh, it's not the answer for all. 2 executives, Harry Balk and Barney Ells, believed in the song. So they did something that could have ended their careers. They pressed 100,000 copies of What's Going On without Berry Gordy's knowledge, shipped them to radio stations across America, then waited. The phone started ringing, then it didn't stop. The song sold 200,000 copies in its first week alone. It became the fastest selling single in Motown history up to that point. Shot to number 1 on the R&B chart and number 2 on the Hot 100. Berry Gordy had to call Marvin personally, had to admit he was wrong. Then he demanded Marvin finish an entire album in 30 days. Marvin did it in 10. In that album, What's Going On became the first concept album in soul music history. Many of you crying. Rolling Stone would later call it the greatest album ever made. Sometimes the worst thing someone's ever heard is exactly what the world needs to hear. Number 11, Ain't No Mountain High Enough by Diana Ross, 1970. Oh, baby, Diana Ross had just left the Supremes. Her first solo single peaked at number 20. For Motown's brightest star, that was a disaster. So songwriters Ashford and Simpson came to her with a radical idea: remake one of Marvin Gaye's hits, but make it 6 minutes long with a spoken word intro. Berry Gordy heard it and hated it immediately. He despised the spoken word passages. He wanted the song to start with the chorus, get to the point, get to the hook. That's how you made hits. But Ashford and Simpson refused to cut it. I know. Here's where it gets interesting. Radio stations started getting the album version anyway. And instead of waiting for Motown's approved edit, they made their own. DJs across America were cutting the song themselves, trimming it to fit their formats. They wanted to play it that badly. Think about that for a moment. The head of Motown says the song is wrong. The people who actually play music for a living say it's right. Who do you trust? The song didn't follow the formula. It broke every rule about length, structure, and radio friendliness. Diana doesn't even sing the famous chorus until 4 minutes in. Motown finally caved and released an official edit. Ain't No Mountain High Enough shot to #1 on both the pop and R&B charts. Diana's first solo #1. The song that Berry Gordy tried to bury became her signature. That spoken word intro he wanted to cut, it became iconic. Generations of fans can recite those opening lines from memory.
If you need me, call me.
Diana Ross proved something that night. Sometimes the detour is the destination.
Oh, baby, into your mind.
Real talk. Only 9% of you are subscribed. That hurts. We're spending hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life. And if you're watching this far, you clearly care. So hit subscribe. It's free and takes 2 seconds. Now, to my subscribers, barely any of you have joined the membership. And honestly, that stings even more. You know the work we put in. You keep coming back. If these videos have ever made you feel something, if this music means something to you, join the membership. It's $1 coffee a month, and it's the only way we keep this going. Let's build this together. All right, back to it. Number 10, Papa Was a Rolling Stone by The Temptations, 1972.
Ain't it true? Mama just hung her head and said, son.
The album version of this song runs 12 minutes.
Only left us was alone.
The single version, the one that went to #1, was nearly 7 minutes long, with a 4-minute instrumental intro before anyone sings a single word.
And mama, some bad talk going around town.
In 1972, that was insane.
Talking about saving souls and all the time leeching.
Producer Norman Whitfield had a vision. He wanted to create what critics would later call cinematic soul, sprawling, orchestral, moody, more like a film score than a radio single. The Temptations hated it. They were Motown royalty, superstars, and now they were watching their producer get more attention into their voices. The instrumental intro alone was longer than most complete songs.
That was the day that my daddy died.
Lead singer Dennis Edwards reportedly despised the opening line. It mentioned September 3rd, and some believe his own father died close to that date. Our true or not, tension filled that studio.
Is it true what you say that Papa never worked a day in his life?
Whitfield made Edwards record his parts dozens of times. He wanted a specific angry tone. He pushed until he got it.
I heard Papa call himself a jack of all trades.
The song was a complete reimagining of an earlier version by The Undisputed Truth. Their take ran 3 minutes and flopped.
Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he...
Whitfield stretched it to 12, added layers, built tension through extended passages where instruments fade in and out.
Right.
Heard some talk about Papa doing some storefront preaching.
That bass line, just 3 notes, repeat, and he became hypnotic. The hi-hat cymbals never stopped. By the time the voices arrive, you've been waiting so long that every word lands like thunder. Papa Was a Rolling Stone, hit #1. Won 3 Grammy Awards. The instrumental B-side won its own Grammy. It became the last big hit recorded in Motown's famous Detroit studio. From The Temptations, Otis Williams later called it the last real classic the group ever recorded. A song they resented making became their legacy. Funny how that works.
Hey, Mom.
Number 9, Superstition by Stevie Wonder, 1972. Stevie Wonder didn't write this song for himself. He wrote it for Jeff Beck.
Wash up and said hey.
The legendary rock guitarist was supposed to release it first. Then Berry Gordy heard the demo.
Sad in the song.
Wonder and Beck had a deal. Beck would play guitar on Stevie's album Talking Book. In exchange, Stevie would write Beck a song. That song was Superstition. Beck loved it, called it the riff of the century. His power trio recorded their version in July 1972, ready to release it as soon as their album dropped. But there was a problem. Berry Gordy heard that funky clavinet riff and knew exactly what he had. A number 1 smash, and he wasn't about to let a rock guitarist get it first.
You don't wanna shake me.
Gordy's contract with Wonder gave him control over single releases. So he pulled rank, ordered Stevie to release Superstition on his own album before Beck's version could come out.
Rid me of the pride.
This created real tension between Stevie and Jeff. Beck felt betrayed. They'd shaken hands on a deal, and now it was being undone by a contract Beck had no part of. Wonder was 22 years old. He'd been little Stevie Wonder since he was 12. This was his moment to prove he was more than a child star. He was an artist with vision. But that vision came at a cost. Stevie's version dropped in October of 1972. Beck's came out early 1973. By then, Superstition had already hit number 1. Wonder's first chart topper since Fingertips almost a decade earlier. Beck's version became a footnote. Wonder became a legend.
Sad in the song.
Years later, Stevie made it up to Jeff. He wrote him 2 more songs, including 'Cause We've Ended as Lovers, which became one of Beck's signature pieces. But Superstition, that belongs to Stevie forever.
Baby, superstition.
Number 8, Billie Jean by Michael Jackson, 1983.
She said, I am the one who would dance.
MTV was losing $50 million. Executives were ready to shut it down, and they still refused to play videos by black artists. Then the president of CBS Records made a threat that changed music history. Michael Jackson had crafted Billie Jean on a drum machine at home. He knew it was a hit the moment he wrote it, knew it so deeply that when his Rolls Royce caught fire while he was driving, he didn't notice. A kid on a motorcycle had to flag him down. But producer Quincy Jones had concerns. He wanted to cut the intro nearly 30 seconds before Jackson sings a word. He wanted to change the title to Not My Lover so people wouldn't confuse it with tennis star Billie Jean King. Jackson refused both requests. That's the jelly, he said about the intro. That's what makes me want to dance. They mixed the song 91 times, 91. Engineer Bruce Sweetian played version after version until Jones finally said, "Play me the second one again."
Be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts.
They went with a modified version of mix number 2. The song dropped in January 1983, shot to number 1. Stayed there for 7 weeks, but MTV wouldn't touch the video.
She told me her name was Billie Jean, and she caused a scene.
Their excuse? It's not MTV's audience. Translation: we don't play black artists. Walter Yetnikoff, president of CBS Records, was furious. He called MTV directly. I'm pulling everything we have off the air, all our product, and I'm going to go public and tell them you don't want to play music by a black guy. MTV caved.
She says I am the one.
Billie Jean premiered on March 10th, 1983, meaning more than 2 months after the song hit number 1.
She don't mind, but what do you mean I am the one?
First black artist in heavy rotation. Here's the twist nobody expected. MTV was about to shut down. They lost $50 million, but after Billie Jean aired, ratings exploded. Within months, MTV posted its first profit ever.
People always told me.
Michael Jackson didn't just break the color barrier. He saved the network that tried to keep him out. Thriller went on to sell an additional 10 million copies after MTV started playing his videos. The album became, and remains, the best-selling album of all time.
And mother always told me, be careful who you love.
Jackson's video director later said, "When we were making it, I thought, when people see this, the world is going to change." He was right.
Twice, she told my baby, dance to 3, and she looked at me.
Number 7, Me and Mrs. Jones by Billy Paul, 1972.
Me and Mrs. Jones.
This song openly celebrates an extramarital affair. The man meets a married woman at a cafe every day at 6:30. They hold hands, make plans, and the whole time, the chorus admits, we both know that it's wrong.
Careful that we don't.
It went to number 1 anyway. Songwriters Gamble and Huff knew exactly what they were doing. They built Philadelphia International Records on music that reflected real life, complicated, messy, human life.
We both know that it's wrong.
Billy Paul sang it like a confession. Not proud, not ashamed, just honest. Here's something most people don't know. When this song was charting, adultery was still technically illegal in Pennsylvania, where it was written and recorded.
Like we used to, we're gonna talk it over.
The law wasn't removed from the criminal code until November 1972. The song hit number 1 in December.
6:30, and no one knows.
Think about the courage that took, not just for Billy Paul, but for radio programmers who played it, for audiences who requested it. Everyone involved was essentially saying, this is real life, and we're not going to pretend otherwise.
It goes now.
The arrangement is lush, sophisticated, strings swell during the chorus. The Sweeties provide angelic backing vocals. It sounds romantic, even while describing something society said was wrong.
While the jukebox plays a favorite song.
Me and Mrs. Jones spent 4 weeks at number 1 on the R&B chart and 3 weeks atop the Hot 100. Won a Grammy. Became one of the defining songs of the Philadelphia soul sound. Billy Paul said something interesting in interviews. He said he knew it would be a hit before it was released. Why? Because everybody can relate to it. That's the power of truth in music, even uncomfortable truth.
We got a thing.
Number 6, Love to Love You Baby by Donna Summer, 1975. Time magazine counted 22 simulated orgasms in this song. The BBC banned it. Radio stations across America refused to play it. It was nearly 17 minutes long, and it was only supposed to be a demo. Producer Giorgio Moroder had created a 3-minute track and asked Donna Summer to record a rough version so other artists could hear it. She was reluctant. The song required her to moan suggestively, and she'd been raised in a devout Christian household. Eventually she agreed, but only if the lights were turned off and everyone left the room. She recorded lying on the studio floor, in the dark, alone with her fantasy.
I love to love you, baby.
The demo landed on the desk of Casablanca Records chief Neil Bogart. He loved it so much he called Moroder with an unusual request. Make it longer, much longer, 20 minutes if possible. Why? Reportedly, he wanted a soundtrack for his own romantic evenings. The final version stretched to 16 minutes and 50 seconds. It consumed an entire side of vinyl. The lyrics were sparse, mostly just the title repeated, but the mood was unmistakable. Summer later said she recorded those vocals thinking about her boyfriend at the time, just her hand on her knee. She explained, "That's all."
I love to love you, baby.
But the result sounded like something far more intimate. Love to Love You, Baby hit number 2 on the Hot 100, despite being banned by the BBC and numerous American stations. It reached number 4 in the UK anyway. People wanted it even if radio wouldn't give it to them. The song pioneered the extended disco remix. Before this, it took nobody thought dancers would stay on the floor for 17 minutes straight. Donna Summer became known as the Queen of Disco, and a song that was never supposed to be released, recorded in shame and darkness, launched an entire era of dance music. What you hide in the shadows sometimes shines brightest. Number 5, I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor, 1978.
First I was afraid, I was petrified, kept thinking I could never.
This song was recorded as a B-side, an afterthought. The recording session had 3 hours booked, and the A-side took most of it. They had 35 minutes left, so they rushed through this one. Nobody expected anything from it. Gloria Gaynor was in bad shape when she entered that studio. A few months earlier, she'd fallen off a stage at New York's Beacon Theater.
Walk out the door, just turn around now.
Finished the performance anyway. Woke up the next morning paralyzed from the waist down. She recorded I Will Survive wearing a back brace. Some accounts say she sang from a wheelchair. The label wanted the other song, a cover of Substitute, to be the hit.
'Cause you're not welcome anymore. Weren't you the one who tried to?
When Gloria heard the finished version of I Will Survive, she knew immediately. This was special. This was the real single. But the executives disagreed. So she took matters into her own hands.
Walk out the door. Just turn around now. You're not.
She brought the record directly to Studio 54. To the DJ she knew personally. I asked him to play it while she watched the crowd. Here's what happened next.
Oh, as long as I know how to love, I know I'll be alive. I've got.
In Gloria's own words, the audience immediately loved it. And you know what? New York audiences don't immediately love anything.
I've got all my life to live. I've got all my love to give. Now
She gave the DJ a stack of copies. He gave them to his friends. They gave them to other DJs.
walk out the door. Just turn around now.
Within weeks, I Will Survive was playing in clubs across America. all from word of mouth. Radio stations started calling the label, asking for the song, the B-side, the afterthought. I Will Survive spent 3 weeks at number one, won the Grammy for Best Disco Recording, the only time that category ever existed. It's now preserved in the Library of Congress for its cultural significance. A woman who couldn't walk recorded an anthem about standing on your own 2 feet. A song nobody believed in became the battle cry for anyone who's ever been counted out. The title wasn't just lyrics, it was prophecy. Number 4, Let's Stay Together by Al Green, 1971.
Want to spend my life with you.
Producer Willie Mitchell spent 8 days trying to record the vocals for this song. 8 days for a 3-minute track.
Be the one you can run to.
The problem? Al Green kept singing like everyone except Al Green.
Whether times are good or bad.
Green had walked into Royal Studios in Memphis with incredible raw talent, but he kept imitating his heroes. Jackie Wilson, Sam Cooke, Wilson Pickett. Every take sounded like someone else's record.
All I see is what I want.
Mitchell didn't want that. He wanted something no one had ever heard before.
You
He told Green the vocals sounded like anyone's, but he needed to hear Al Green.
You can't always be with the.
Al didn't take that well. He was frustrated, exhausted, ready to quit. So he did something dramatic. He ran out of the studio, jumped into his Corvette, and peeled out of the parking lot, spinning tires so Mitchell could hear it.
Never be untrue.
He drove around for 30 minutes, just driving, thinking. When he came back, something had changed. He made a promise to Mitchell, no roar, just whisper. That decision changed soul music. Green delivered his opening vocals in one take. That vulnerable falsetto, that restrained intensity, the way he buckled slightly on certain words, surrendering to the emotion rather than overpowering it.
Loving you weather.
Mitchell was so confident he pressed 500,000 copies before the song was even released. It shipped on Monday. By Thursday, it went gold. Let's Stay Together hit number one on both the pop and R&B charts. The Library of Congress added it to the National Recording Registry in 2010. Willie Mitchell had produced amazing vocalists before, Tina Turner, Ann Peebles, O.V. Wright. But he said something profound. He had a sound in his head that was incomplete until Al Green walked through his door. And Al Green didn't become himself until someone demanded he stop being everyone else. Number 3, Sexual Healing by Marvin Gaye, 1982. By 1982, Marvin Gaye was finished. At least that's what everyone thought. He was living in exile in Belgium, hiding from the IRS, battling cocaine addiction. Hadn't had a real hit in years. His last album had been released against his will, and he compared it to someone finishing an unfinished Picasso. Then he walked into a tiny apartment studio with 2 musicians and a drum machine. Columbia Records had to spend $1.5 million just to buy out his Motown contract. another $600,000 in advance money for an artist most people had written off.
Wake up, 'cause you do it right.
But Marvin had discovered something new, the Roland TR 808 drum machine. He didn't know much about technology, but something about those electronic rhythms spoke to him.
Wake up, 'cause you do it right.
The song's title came from an unusual source. Marvin's biographer, David Ritz, was visiting his apartment. According to some accounts, Ritz noticed certain materials in Marvin's flat and suggested he needed sexual healing rather than other forms of stimulation. Marvin asked Ritz to help with the lyrics, then recorded the song himself. This was a different Marvin, not the socially conscious poet of What's Going On, not the seducer of Let's Get It On. This was a man in pain, literally begging for intimacy as medicine. The lyrics are desperate in a way his earlier work never was. The production is sparse, just that 808 pulse, some synthesizers, his voice layered over itself.
And when I get that feeling, I want sexual healing.
He called Columbia executive Larkin Arnold with a rough demo. Arnold was thrilled. The man everyone had abandoned still had it.
I can't wait for you to operate.
Sexual Healing became the fastest rising R&B single in 5 years.
That's good for me whenever blue teardrops.
Shot to #1 and stayed there for 10 straight weeks, a record for the decade. Won 2 Grammys, sold over 2 million copies.
Such a rush, helps to really love mine.
The comeback was complete. Marvin was back on top. He told interviewers, "I don't make records for pleasure. I record so I can help someone overcome a bad time."
It's good for me, sexual healing is something.
A man at his lowest point made a song about survival through connection, and it healed more than just him.
You'll be there to relieve me for the love you give.
Number 2, 1999 by Prince, 1982.
I was dreaming when I wrote this. Forgive me if it goes astray.
Prince wrote this song after watching a Nostradamus documentary that predicted the world would end in 1999. Cold War tensions were at their peak. Nuclear annihilation seemed genuinely possible. His response? Throw the biggest party in human history?
So tonight, party like it's night.
The album 1999 broke every rule about song length. Most tracks ran 7 to 10 minutes. Automatic stretched to almost 10. Lady Cab Driver topped 8. These weren't radio edits, they were the actual songs. Prince didn't care about 3-minute formats. He cared about grooves, and grooves needed room to breathe.
So tonight I'm gonna party like it's night.
The lyrics got him in trouble too. Let's Pretend We're Married was so explicit that Tipper Gore reportedly jumped off her couch to protect her children when it played. The music video for Automatic was banned from MTV entirely. Content too suggestive for the brand new network.
Trying to run from the distraction, you know I didn't even care.
Prince was writing about sex, apocalypse, and partying through the end of days all at once. Here's what made it work. Prince played almost everything himself. Drums, keyboards, guitars, bass. He'd work all day and all night without rest, refusing to eat because it would make him sleepy.
Zero party over, oops, out of time.
The result sounded like nothing else on radio. Synthesizers that hummed with menace, drum machines that snapped with mechanical precision, and that high-pitched voice singing about bombs while encouraging everyone to dance. MTV played 1999 in late 1982, one of the first videos by a black artist to get regular rotation on the network. Little Red Corvette followed in 1983 and cracked the top 10 despite lyrics that were clearly not about an actual car. The album eventually sold over 4 million copies. It made Prince a superstar. When the actual year 1999 arrived, the song experienced a massive resurgence.
So if I gotta die, I'm gonna listen to my body tonight.
Prince had written the soundtrack to a year 2 decades before it happened. If the world's going to end, might as well have the best music playing when it does. Number 1, Little Red Corvette by Prince, 1983. Prince wrote this song after falling asleep in a car. But here's the thing, it wasn't a Corvette. It was a pink 1964 Mercury Marauder owned by his bandmate Lisa Coleman. The song isn't really about cars at all. The lyrics use automobile metaphors for something far more intimate. Lines about having a pocket full of horses, Trojan, and some of them used, slipped past radio censors who either didn't understand or pretended not to.
Guess I must be dumb. Shut up, pocket.
Prince had spent 5 albums building a reputation as, in his own words, an auteur of the erotic.
I guess that makes it all right. You say, baby, I got enough.
Songs like Head and Jack You Off made critics swoon, but kept him off mainstream radio.
What have I got to lose? Money, I say,
He needed a Trojan horse of his own, so he wrapped explicit content in pop packaging. The synths were smooth enough for top 40. The chorus was catchy enough for casual listeners, but anyone paying attention knew exactly what "body like yours ought to be in jail" really meant. Warner Brothers wasn't sure it would work. They made Prince record a 12-inch dance remix as insurance. If radio rejected it, at least clubs would play it. Then came MTV. The network had launched in 1981 with the notorious Blind Spot. They rarely played black artists. Michael Jackson's Billie Jean had just started cracking that barrier when Little Red Corvette arrived. The video cost less than $20,000. Just Prince and his band performing on a concert stage in Lakeland, Florida. No storyline, no special effects, just raw charisma. MTV put it in rotation, and suddenly a song about one-night stands was playing in living rooms across America.
Guess I should have closed my eyes when you drove me to the place where you're.
Little Red Corvette peaked at number 6, Prince's first top 10 hit. More importantly, it performed better on the pop chart than the R&B chart. He'd crossed over completely. Stevie Nicks heard the song in her car and wrote "Stand Back" that same night. She called Prince and he came to the studio to play keyboards on her track. That's how fast his influence was spreading. A year later, Purple Rain would make Prince a global icon. But this was the song that opened the door, the one that proved you could smuggle controversial content past the gatekeepers if you made it catchy enough. Prince once said he wanted to be judged by the quality of his work, not the color of his skin. Little Red Corvette. made the world listen long enough to agree.
Saw all the pictures of the jockeys that were there before me.